I figured out what I want to do for our shadow work reading, and hi Pisces. And so I am excited to kind of dig in and see what comes up. So we're going to be doing our 3 areas as usual, and then I'm going to go ahead and lay them out. I think that's a much nicer kind of flow than having to shuffle the entire time on camera. And then we're going to get into those 3 areas. So here we go. Here's pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. And so our first pile is going to be like, what is the situation that's coming up for us right now? Like, what is what's happening and that's bringing up our shadow? And it's the Hierophant, which we got the Hierophant in the general reading. So it's the rules and regulations. It's you having to create a container. So there's an ask happening right now in the month of May for Pisces that's like, hey, you're going to have to maybe follow some of these rules. You're going to have to kind of fall in line a little bit. You're going to have to create a schedule. You're going to have to create a plan, and you're going to need to follow through with that plan. And you're not necessarily feeling that. That is definitely bringing up some shadows for you, some shadow work for you to get done. And it's a Knight of Cups. Ooh, so you also have some you're wanting to make some movement. There's some movement happening with your relationships, and it is also bringing up the shadow, more than likely related to this 6 of Cups, because it is bringing up, now 6 of Cups is usually fond memories. It's memories you're looking forward to. It's things you're happy about. But if it's one of those things where it's like there's a new, maybe not a new relationship, but like a renewal relationship, a renewal of emotions, like you're feeling pretty good about things and it's bringing up those memories, but those memories are now making you a little apprehensive because you're needing to create like a system and a program for yourself. Like you're needing to address things a little bit differently. Your shadow might be like, it's too good to be true. It's going to make it where I fall off of my plan. Ooh, and the Hermit. Okay, so you're wanting to spend some time, and we got the Hermit card, another one too. You're needing to spend some time kind of figuring things out, learning that wisdom, being able to shine your light for other people, but you've got to go within to do that first. And that is what your shadow is. That's pretty, oh my goodness, it's all the other cards. It's all the other cards, all the stuff that's coming up for the things that you needed to work on for this month are starting to trigger that shadow to come out and push up against it. So like those boundaries that you're experiencing, yeah, it's all that stuff that you were doing this month to get where you want to be in the world. The creating the foundation, the having something to look forward to going within and getting the wisdom, to being able to look back fondly at your memories of what was, having new situations and relationships come up, creating a system and boundaries for yourself. And then finally, because I do want to do the 6 cards now, that 3 of Wands. You're at a space now, Pisces, to move forward. You are at a space now, Pisces. Like there might be some trips coming up. There's some forward momentum coming up. All of this hard work you're doing, you're progressing. And sometimes when we start to leave behind what was and we're looking out into what can be, especially when it's something we're really excited about, our shadow might try to be protecting us from entering into unknown situations by like triggering us a little bit. So what is our shadow? So this is the situation. This is what's bringing up the shadow. This is what's behind the shadow work that needs to be done. So what is our shadow wanting us to learn from all of this? So, of course, your 10 of Pentacles. This has been your like final card in all of your readings, is that you are deserving of having a wonderful, stable foundation, of creating a legacy that will be successful. Your shadow is trying to put you in a position and teach you how to do that. Your shadow is also the shadow work that you're doing right now, or will be doing. We'll get into what needs to be integrated, what needs to be done in the last row. It's also trying to lay the foundation so that like you can rest. Like, you don't always have to be doing, you don't always have to be going, you don't always have to be moving. That like the way that the world works around you and what works for other people may not necessarily be for you. If you're running yourself ragged into the ground, trying to keep up like with a system that's not necessarily the best for you, like you can move on. Is that the Hierophant? Have I been reading that as the Hierophant? I was reading that as the Emperor the entire time. Holy crap. It's the Hierophant, which we literally just saw in your reading, the last reading that was your money reading. Oh, this money stuff, like all this stuff that was happening is the full situation behind why your shadow, like why you're doing shadow work. What is kind of like the background of your shadow work for this month? It is the Hierophant, not the Emperor. And the Hierophant, like we talked about, is all about those morals and those values, like making sure that that's in alignment. Religious institutions that might be very like strict and stringent, like it's all of that. Like, oh my goodness, I can't believe that I was totally just like seeing in my head the Emperor. It's the Hierophant for that. So yeah, okay, saying that like the road to happiness for other people and like what you're seeing show up for you is something that like is available to you, and that it will lead you to you deserve getting that 10 of Pentacles. You deserve rest. You have new ideas and new ways of looking at things, new ways of framing the world that is needed, but you're going to have to do this work. And we're going to get, like I said, into the work in the next one. So that you can move past being reliant upon institutions, being reliant upon other systems. You can feel safe and secure in and of yourself. Like you can learn from the past of how it is that you went about creating a safe space for yourself, and that you can rely upon yourself. They're giving you that foundation. Woo, and it's also saying, remember that sneaky energy that came up? Ooh, it is saying that, sometimes maybe you do have to be a little bit of a, you gotta, you gotta use what you got to get what you want. But I think it's also saying that in like, what is it, rise? Why is this happening? And what is going to be the purpose of this? Like, is so that you know how to address this, so that when this pops up and people take advantage of you, or you feel like you have to do things like slyly to get what you want, that like you can take a different route, and that you can see this for what it is, and that you know what you need to be doing. And look at that, like it's all the same cards. Like it's, how do you address this? It's really trying to teach you, how do you address this? How do you not end up in this situation so that you can get what you want? You can rest and relax. You can share your ideas. You can get that inspiration. You don't feel left out in the cold. You don't feel like you have to be sneaky and you can't be truthful with people. I've seen so much discourse lately about how people pleasers are manipulative. And I know how often people will be like, oh, well, Pisces, they're people pleasers. They're just telling you what they want, what you want to hear, so that they can get what they want, or so they can keep the peace, or they're too sensitive. All those like trash, like shadowy parts of Pisces that people bring up. And it's really saying like, you do not need to be this person to get what you want out of things. You do not have to be sneaky. You do not have to be, like doing things behind people's backs, or like feeling like you can't just be honest with folks about what it is that you want or what it is that you have going on. And that also, like, you don't have to juggle. I really saw that 2 of Pentacles where it was just like, I am not sure how to live the life I want to live without having to do like the most. Having 2 jobs, working myself to the bone. And I think that that's reinforced as we see here with that 4 of Swords, because this 4 of Swords is definitely going to be like, you need to rest, you need to relax. Like there's so much to say. The way that you've approached things before is triggering you, where it's like you have to learn how to be able to approach things in a different way. So how do we do this? Well, how are we integrating our shadow justice card? All right, so you might have to hold folks accountable. And I know that can be sometimes hard for Pisces, but you have to learn to hold folks accountable. That's the whole point why this is a shadow. You have to be able to remember that bravery, remember that like taking chances, remember like going for the things that excite you and make you feel alive. Go for that. How else are we integrating this? Okay, finding healthy relationships, finding healthy connections, learning to be our own person and to build relationships that look like what we want. Like that's how you get to the 10 of Pentacles. That's how you get to that legacy piece, is that you have relationships that you want to have that look like what you want them to look like, not what your parents told you or what society is telling you, or maybe like your belief system is saying, like not based off of what happened to you in the past, like not like what is it you want it to look like. That's what you need to do to get to that integration. So maybe this is why the Emperor was like so like deep entrenched in my mind, because how you get to the integration point is the Emperor. So as I was saying, like those systems, building those systems, I suppose, are triggering you, but like they are how you work with this shadow. Your shadow is saying integrate the part of you that is resistant to having a plan and having a system. The gold is in the shadow. And guess what? Your opposite sign, Pisces, is Virgo, ruled by Mercury. And it is all about like, it needs to have some form of a system. Now, maybe it has help making that system, but it's very meticulous. It's very detail oriented. Now, you also both might be having the issue of trying to save the world and trying to save other people. But like, Virgo can help you to create some form of like a strategy. You need to get a strategy, and you need to push against whatever that resistance is that makes you want to just like fly by the seat of your pants, because like something fun is going up or something's triggering you about your past, or like you just want to be able to like have a happy home and be able to move forward and like see that growth happen in your life. The Hangman, change your perspective on things. This is how you're going to integrate. You have so many of these major arcana cards on your integration side of things. Hold people accountable. Do what excites you. Find healthy relationships that you create based on what you want. Create systems that support those healthy relationships and what it is that you want to do. Change your perspective on things. If you have a really negative outlook on relationships, if you feel like the only way to get what you want is to be sneaky, to have to do everything on your own, or to not trust institutions, which are like triggering you, because that's what's up here with that Hierophant, like maybe you do need to change your perspective on your morals and your beliefs. Maybe there's a little bit more gray area available to you, or maybe you're like, actually, I was completely right, and I do need to move on my own and be able to be independent and to seek those things that I'm interested in. Ooh. And your last card for integration, how you integrate this. This 9 of Swords is usually like you're torturing yourself. You are thinking about this so much. And for it to come up in the integration section is really, in my opinion, coming across as like, you cannot avoid this. Like that is the integration. You cannot avoid this. You cannot catastrophize this where it's just like, it's running over in your head over and over again, because the opposite of forward movement is sitting here and thinking about it over and over, laying in your bed, never actually moving. It is, you've got to get up. You've got to get out of the bed. Like you change your perspective and you understand and realize that this is something that has happened and that you can think about it as long as you want. You can sit there and ruminate on it as long as you want. You will never move forward until you accept what has happened and accept what has been and integrate this work into your psyche so that your shadow is no longer a shadow. It is a part of who you are. It's an accepted protection that helps you to get where you want to go in life. And maybe sometimes you're going to have to use some of these skills that you've had before. You don't have to per se throw them away, but you do need to be able to say that like, okay, like this is the way that I've approached things. This is what's happening. That's triggering. This is the way, like this is what your shadow is trying to tell you and trying to show you. And this is how you move forward. This is how you integrate it. And maybe it's okay sometimes to like take that break, to take that moment to, this is a lot of change that's happened here. Like this is a lot. These are big cards. So maybe it's okay for you to have a moment where it's like you break down a little bit, you reflect, but then you take the wisdom from that moment and you go and you shine your light even brighter. Like you can't let these transformative, like really big transformative moments break you down and keep you stuck where you are, where instead of being able to like move forward and go into what you want, like you go back into manipulative ways, you go back into like just falling behind institutions, like you stay stuck in the past. Like you have to have your moment and then keep it going. We're going to get one more card just to see. Like, yeah, you're feeling a little battered, you're feeling a little run down, but you've done all this hard work and you've got the harvest from it. That is really, truly what the 9 of Wands is about. That's going to be it for you, Pisces. Like, woo, this shadow reading is kind of intense. And I definitely want to make sure, I'll probably do a little bit more tweaking because I want to make sure I can be really clear about what's going on, what our shadows teaching us this month, where it is that we need to go, what it is that we need to be doing. And I feel a little bit like it got a little confusing. So I'm going to definitely work on the style of this reading, but we will be continuing to have shadow work readings coming forward, like moving forward every month. But I'm excited for you. I think it's going to be good work. And I think you're going to see a lot of really big growth happen this year or this month and like in just this month alone. So like, get ready, Pisces, buckle up. It's going to be a ride. So thank you for watching. Let me know how things are going and I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.